Hey guys, for those who don't know, my name is James and I am a sports massage therapist who helps athletes with injury prevention and their sports rehabilitation. I am also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and fortunate enough to be able to train with some of the top level competitors in the sport through my profession. As you know, the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu also comes with their fair share of injuries due to the repetitive motions, overuse, and positions that we may find ourselves in. My goal of these videos is to share my experiences training with these athletes to show what a recreational jiu-jitsu enthusiast like myself is going through, along with my thought process when training with a competitor. I also thought it'd be a great idea to share my knowledge on injury prevention in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as most of it comes down to education along with what to do and not to do during training. It's also great to show people the struggles and challenges that I personally have as a higher belt during training and how we have so much to learn regardless of our experience and belt level. In this video, I'll be commentating my role with one of my friends, Kieran Kichuk. Kieran is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and one of Canada's top talents in the competitive scene. He is known for his leg lock game in the fall sweep position along with his non-stop submission hunting skills. I've also been fortunate enough to help him rehab a number of injuries that he has accumulated over the years of training as well. First off, for the purpose of the video, I've asked Kieran not to hold back and to showcase his aggressive style of submission hunting. I also primarily train in the gi, so transitioning to no gi was a bit of a change for me. The biggest challenge for me was not having the ability to get grips and to secure any guard or position. Okay, let's start. So Kieran passes my guard pretty easily over here, and he gets knee on belly with a deep underhook and into a knee slice right over here. I'm trying to control his left wrist over here to prevent the crossface, but he manages to step over and eventually throws on a triangle. He does have the triangle on the opposite side, but there's not much I can do, and I'm trying to hide my arm over here, but he eventually peels it open and goes for the arm lock. We start again and I try to get some sort of sit-up guard over here, but he manages to backstep into the saddle position. He does control my leg really well into the inside heel hook. In this position I should be fighting his grips and his arms, but like I said before, I don't train much no-gi. Luckily, Kieran did show me a few things I can do to defend the heel hook, which we'll talk about afterwards. I just quickly wanted to talk about heel hooks along with injury prevention and safety. The heel hook mechanism is very simple. Trap both the ankle and the hip and the knee will be forced to move instead. Here you can see Kieran do a great job at locking my hip in internal rotation as he controls the end of the lever, which is the foot and ankle. He then uses his hip to buckle my knee inwards, also known as valgus, onto my knee and I am forced to tap. The knee is considered to be a modified hinge joint. This means that it allows for both flexion, such as bending the knee, along with extension, straightening out the knee, and also for some rotation. With that being said, it is very important to understand how the knee works when it comes to injury prevention in the sport of Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, and back into the roll. So I'm trying my best not to get my guard passed here. He manages to sneak in a Darce choke. He gets his grips, and I'm forced to tap in a few seconds from here. So we start again, and I decide to play supine guard again. I'm a lot more comfortable playing off my back, especially in gi, but I feel like supine guard may not be the best choice in no gi, because of the lack of grips. Kieran gets me in a very deep headquarters position, and I'm trying my best to secure any sort of grip or guard. As you can see, I do play more gi, and with the lack of grips here, I do have a hard time securing any sort of guard or position. Kieran then goes for the back step, and then he goes around into the saddle position and controls the end of my leg into the heel hook position. Also pay attention to how Kieran finishes the heel hook. He's not wrenching or exploding to the heel hook, and he's giving me more than enough time to tap. When training heel hooks, it's very important to find a partner that you trust. This means that both of you understand the mechanics of a heel hook and what to do and what not to do. Here Kieran goes for a pretty cool armbar setup. He manages to lift me off the ground and into an armbar, but I manage to slip out somehow. We start the roll again, and I try to get inside space into some sort of butterfly or single leg X, but Kieran does a really good job backstepping and eliminating any of my hooks. He then goes for a knee cut and easily passes my guard into side control. I try my best to create some sort of distance to retain my guard. At this point of the roll, I literally have no idea what I'm doing, and Kieran's making me make mistakes and manages to capitalize that into a heel hook. Just a quick tip in terms of heel hooks. The inside heel hook is the strongest when the knee is bent to roughly 90 degrees. This is mainly due to the knee having slack and allowing for the most rotation. However, if the leg is straightened out, the slack is now taken out of the knee and the stress is now distributed along the leg. The inside heel hook specifically attacks the ligaments of the knee, such as the MCL, which is located on the inside of the knee. In some cases, the ACL can also be affected if the foot is weight bearing. For example, placing all your weight on one leg while somebody falls on top of it. Other structures such as the meniscus can also be targeted in the inside heel hook. Here Kieran has me in a smash pass. I managed to create some sort of distance here and transition into mantis guard. I try my best to get some sort of grip, but Kieran manages to win the grip exchange and goes into a knee cut position with a underhook, but manages to get a Kimura off of that. If you've watched my commentary videos before, I've mentioned when training with black belt competitors, I always feel 3 to 4 or even 5 steps behind, especially when it comes to the grip battle. If you ever rolled with a black belt competitor, you'll know what I mean. Here Kieran controls my legs really well and into a pass and back into side control. At this point, I feel I'm going for the arm triangle, and I'm doing my best to create some sort of frame to prevent that from happening, but he's creating a lot of pressure and manages to get knee on belly on me and eventually onto the opposite side and secures the arm triangle. Actually, he goes for a modified arm triangle with a Ezekiel choke as well, which doesn't matter too much because I was gonna tap regardless. So we start another round, and I tried to set up a wrestle up technique that Kieran taught me a few months ago, but obviously he sees it and capitalizes on it and gets a choke on me. At this point of the roll, obviously whatever I'm trying is not working. I'm trying my best to be more defensive here. I'm trying my best to get some sort of grip, but he does manage to pass my guard into a very cool leg lock setup. He does know I like to invert and throw my leg over, but he does manage to catch my leg and back into the inside heel hook. Kieran quickly puts me back in headquarters and into smash pass position. I am trying my best to get some sort of frame along with using my butterfly hook to get on the outside space. In a few seconds you'll see Kieran control my wrist and go for a front roll onto the back. These are very small details that I'm starting to notice at a higher level, and it makes a world of a difference. He manages to get 2 hooks in. I am trying my best to fight his grips, but he manages to get a rear naked choke and eventually gets the tap. Another thing to note too, I might have been submitted maybe 8, 9, 10 times so far. At no point did I feel any sort of pains or injuries. Again, Kieran is not really wrenching on any submissions or putting myself in any dangerous positions. So if you're a white belt watching this, don't be afraid to roll with any sort of higher belts. Generally speaking, higher belts will let you work. Higher belts are also more controlled, and we're not going to do anything stupid to jeopardize your safety or our safety. Here Kieran gets a very nice crossface and a mount, and he goes for a pretty cool wrist lock setup here. My elbow is trapped beside his neck and I am forced to tap. Here he gets a very deep underhook on my left side and goes for a knee slice. Again, quickly passes my guard. I don't really have any answer here. I tried to create some space between us by pushing off his neck over here. But same thing, I feel I'm going for the wrist lock here and manages to get it again. We start again and he manages to force me back to supine guard, where he quickly passes me. He does a really good job grabbing my left wrist with his left hand here. I think this is referred to as the Dagestani handcuff. He does go 2-on-1, manages to advance to the upper body, and eventually throws on the triangle. I do manage to create a little bit of space by dropping my shoulders to the ground, which lets me escape the triangle, and we just reset the position back again. Same thing, he does a really good job controlling my legs. I managed to sneak in my outside hook by his hip here. He still forces me into headquarters. I am trying my best to create some sort of frame, but he does manage to get a, I guess it's called a can opener, and pulls my head up towards him, which really limits a lot of my mobility. As you can see here, he manages to get through deeper with his right knee and then back into the smash position, where he goes for the Dagestani handcuff again, which that really limits me. Again, I can't post on my elbow anymore, and I'm actually forced to concede the pass in this position, and then that's the roll. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Please leave a comment down below and let me know who else you'd like me to train with. If you're looking to learn more about Kieran's leg lock game, be sure to check out his jiu-jitsu instructional, Inside Guard Secrets, Reverse De La Hiva, and the False Reap. Kieran dives more in depth into the front side 50-50, back side 50-50, and the False Reap position. If you're looking to set up a private session or workshop with Kieran, simply shoot him a message on Instagram at lockandtrangle. Lastly, as you know, the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu requires an adequate amount of mobility. A lack of mobility can cause other areas of the body to compensate and ultimately work harder, which can result in pain and or dysfunction. Our Jiu-Jitsu Prehab Mobility program is designed to help you build a stronger and more mobile body to allow you to train harder and longer without pain. It will help you with preventing injuries on the mats and promote longevity in the sport as well. Click the link in the description to enroll into the course now. See you guys next time.